Hi, I'm your host Davia Chambers, welcoming you to Let's Talk Tobago. It's our first edition for 2023. Of course, Christmas has come and gone, leaving us with endless possibilities for a new year and a new season. We're so happy to be with you for another year, bringing you the sights, the sounds, and the energy that make Tobago a one-of-a-kind island. So get comfy and leave the heavy lifting to us as we share this week's top stories. Visitors are enjoying a promising cruise season in Tobago. The island pays a fitting tribute as it celebrates the life of one of the island's true icons. And we look back at Tobago's Day of Prayer, which marks a positive start to the new year. We'll bring you these stories and more right after this break. Stay with us.
Mason Hall Moriah, your Executive Council is coming to meet with you. The THA will continue its District Town Hall meeting series on Tuesday, January 17th at the Moriah Community Center from 6:30 p.m. Come out as the Executive Council members give updates on existing and upcoming programs and projects. You also get the opportunity to share your concerns and ask questions.
To all the villagers, let's come out. Let's talk to the representatives. Let's get our issues fixed. And we're on 2023.
So join us from 6:30 p.m. at the Moriah Community Center for the Executive Council District Town Hall meeting. Remember, your voice matters.
Tobago has earned a special place in the hearts of many travelers. It's one of the reasons the island has enjoyed a promising restart to the cruise industry, as more vessels are choosing Destination Tobago as their preferred port of call. Have a look.
Well, cruise shipping in general has a surge in demand after COVID. Everybody wants to get back out there and travel. So I think the demand will always be there, and the demand for ships to come back to Tobago will always be there. The onus is on us to provide the service that they expect. So the tours we see most, obviously the Pigeon Point Beach, that's always a big seller. Currently today we have probably over 300 persons going to Pigeon Point Beach alone. Other popular tours are Tobago South, which basically does a tour of Tobago South, the different forts, Mysterious Tombstone, that sort of thing. And another famous one is the folkloric show, where we put on exactly what you're seeing here with the entertainment here at the port. We do that in a private setting for the guests. We also have more active tours like a boat cruise to Little Tobago, where you do a hike on Little Tobago. We do tours in the rainforest, Argyle Waterfall, Cocoa Discovery, different things like that.
We have all the maxis are engaged and a few PTSC buses, and so far we will have covered the transportation issue. We have been taking them around this beautiful island of Tobago. They are enjoying it and they are having a wonderful time. Not only for the taxi operator, you have like the cultural group, then you have the reef boat, you have the people who are selling, doing arts and craft, which is very good. So it's general, right? But and I think we are enjoying it and we are benefiting from it, and I trust that this can continue and there will be an increase.
From the time they reach close enough and they hear the music, you see the dancing from off the boat, you know, so it's a good feeling being received by them in that way. Some persons know about the instrument, and some persons don't know. So they will ask questions like, is it amplified? Is it electronic? How many notes? How do we create the pan? Who created it?
Close to a dozen ships have already visited Destination Tobago, with several more calls scheduled. From the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, I'm Juliet James reporting for Let's Talk Tobago.
So Titus is a Latin word meaning honorable and strong, related to the term Titan. Fittingly, these are all words that could have been used to describe the late Royal Axeback Titus, who had a massive impact on this island. And that's how he'll be remembered, as Tobago recently celebrated his life. If you missed out his farewell, here are some highlights.
was a father, a revenue officer, an advisor, a teacher, a principal, a school supervisor, a cultural group leader, a cricket captain, a steel pan arranger, a choreographer, a composer, an anthropologist, an author, a producer, a director, a musician, a calypsonian. He was a Senate vice president.
He came to Speyside High School and contributed heavily to the school's cultural development. On numerous occasions, he led the school's choir to different music festivals where we performed at Queen's Hall and Napa. He also introduced folk dance and led the school's dance group to many renowned places throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
I want to give a commitment on behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly that we will see to it that his unpublished works get published so that the legacy will continue and so that the information and knowledge that he had will be passed on for generations to come.
Tell me, check the style of my calypso. They keep telling me all the while, careful with the things you make people know.
2023 is going to be the mother of all carnivals in Trinidad and Tobago after the impact of COVID-19. So if Lit was a festival, this would definitely be it. Of course, steel pan plays a major part, and Tobago has already made its mark with Uptown Fascinators topping the National Small Band semi-finals. In fact, 5 other Tobago bands, T and the Tech Eastside Dimension, Alpha Pan Pioneers, Tobago Panthers, West Side Symphony, and CNB Crown Cordons are into the top 15, meaning they'll compete for the crown. In this story, Uptown Fascinators tells us about their carnival experience so far.
For me, picking an old tune is not just finding any old song and just decide to pick it. It has to be something that old and young people could relate to.
We are here to defend our championship, and we know what it takes. Of course, we felt excited, but we also remain humble.
A bit of nervousness because you never know what we're hoping for the best. We're in a good position right now, but we are in no way comfortable or feeling like we're on top of the world or anything. We have a lot of work to do. This is only the first night since we come back from Trinidad, and we back in the Panther and getting it hard, getting it together because we really want it. We're hungry for it.
So we have to take a break, but don't go anywhere. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Mason Hall Mariah, your Executive Council is coming to meet with you. The THA will continue its District Town Hall meeting series on Tuesday, January 17th at the Mariah Community Center from 6:30 p.m. Come out as the Executive Council members give updates on existing and upcoming programs and projects. You also get the opportunity to share your concerns and ask questions.
To all the villagers, let's come out, let's talk to the representatives, let's get our issues fixed, and we're on 2023.
So join us from 6:30 p.m. at the Mariah Community Center for the Executive Council District Town Hall meeting. Remember, your voice matters.
New Year's Day was about getting 2023 off to the right start, with the island hosting its first day of prayer. Representatives from several denominations gathered to pray for Tobago. Here's a look back at the day of prayer.
Have you ever wondered why we should pray? And as Matthew 21:22 says, "And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive it if you have faith." And this Tobago House of Assembly Executive Council has made it their prime concern to keep a day of prayer once every month.
We ask Almighty God to shower His blessings upon all our families. Lord, you know the brokenness of family life at this time. You know the challenges that we face. But Father, Lord, we know that with you all things are possible. So as we begin this new year, we entrust all of our families, O God, to your merciful care. And we pray, Almighty God, that through the power of your Holy Spirit, you continue to bind all families with cords of love that cannot be broken.
And, O God, as we come praying for our land, we ask, O Holy Father, that you continue to teach our elders, give our elders the word to give on to our people, so that our people will change their mindset and turn from their wicked ways and come to glorify you in spirit and in truth.
As we gather in this fashion to lift up our prayerful concerns about our nation, Trinidad and Tobago, we do so knowing that your ears are not too dull that you cannot hear, and your hands are not too short that you cannot save us.
Lord, we pray in a special way for wisdom for our leaders, as that national song and hymn will say, give them grace to guide. Oh Lord, we pray that you will allow equity and equality to reign in this Tobago space. We pray, dear Lord, that you will give your people good health, as your word will have indicated that you wish above all things that we prosper and be in good health, even as our soul prospereth.
It's important to recognize those who contributed to society. Now, the Tobago Youth Awards 2022 is in the air, and as the island gets ready to honor its youth mentors, and organizations who've made a difference in the past year, so we chatted with some of the past awardees to find out how much of a difference that recognition has made to them. Here's what they said.
The Tobago Youth Awards was established in 2003 to recognize youth excellence on the island. The honorees are those who've contributed to Tobago's development, both as individual and youth organization.
The current nomination period seeks to highlight our outstanding young persons for the primary period of September 2021 to August of 2022. Following the nomination period, at the close of nomination, we have an independent selection committee that is appointed, comprising of individuals from within both the private and public sector.
Past winners of the awards say they can be life-changing.
At first, I was a bit surprised, but winning the award just goes to show that there are persons that look at you and look up to you, and you're not even aware that persons are looking at what could you do in society. And that would have just really given me that drive to continue reaching out to young persons in my community and young persons on the island.
Some of us were like, yes, I know he was going to win, it was a blessing. It immediately boosted our self-esteem. It added credibility to our efforts. It was almost a testimony to say that, yes, you see, hard work does pay off.
The award ceremony is scheduled for later this month. I am David Jacobs for Let's Talk Tobago.
Now we've come to the end of this edition of Let's Talk Tobago. It's been our pleasure bringing you a close-up view of the island. As always, we thank you for watching. Remember, you can email us with your comments or queries, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. To find out more about Mercedes Villa, you can call 678-0021. From our house to yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and fantastic week.
It's a different type of thing down there. What? And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning. He wants water.
Good morning, viewers. It is 7 a.m. and welcome to the Tobago Updates Morning Show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Rhea Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to Tobago, good morning Trinidad, those of you in the Caribbean, and those of you viewing us on the live. Good morning, good morning. Julian, happy Monday morning to you.
Yes, indeed, indeed. It is a beautiful Monday morning. Rhea, it is celebration time in Trinidad and Tobago as the recently completed small band gives us a sense of joy and a sense of excitement. Certainly the reigning Tobago band, you know, for 2023 Panorama Champs for the small band. We certainly have Uptown Fascinators. Get familiar with the name. Uptown Fascinators. Kudos and commendations indeed. Chairman, the Salisha James Martin and O.J. Richards certainly standing out among many others within the Tobago space. It's a kind of celebration time.
It is.
Nationally. All right, they may be upset on the other side, but that's fine.
And we're seeing the comments
in
on
Trinidad and Tobago, and I want to make it abundantly clear. You know, as my high school's teacher would tell me, we're as good as any. And may she rest in peace, Miss Allard. But in fact, we may be better than many and stand supreme. Well done, Trinidad and Tobago, and well done, Uptown Fascinators.
Definitely, and I have to say kudos this morning, particularly to O.J. Richards. Now, if you know O.J. Richards' roots, they go very deep. His father is Orrin Richards. If you know anything about Orrin Richards, you're not surprised by OJ's success with regards to music, pan, arranging, composing. You're not going to be surprised, but we're going to hear more about it a little bit later in the program. But I have to say congratulations to Uptown Fascinators, to OJ and the team. Congratulations to
you. And you know, I particularly have to shout out one of my colleagues here, Alana Harry. For years upon years, Alana has been speaking about Uptown Fascinators. And I remember years ago when they were getting, you know, now coming out in the mix, I say, who is that? Who is that band? Who is that? You know, today I am sure she is overjoyed because everyone in the workspace knows that Alana speaks very highly and promotes Uptown Fascinators. Definitely. So I want to say kudos to all the supporters, the entire team. Rhea, what I think is only Prime Minister and Chief Justice and the likes that we could produce. We could produce top bands as well.
That's right.
Well done. Folks, we head straight on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Julian and Rhea. I am Candace Jackson, and here is your news in 90 seconds for Monday, 16th January 2023. Uptown Fascinators won the Panorama title in the small conventional bands category. The competition took place on Saturday at the Queen's Park, Savannah, where Tobago's band shined over their competitors. Uptown Fascinators won with their rendition of Dollar Wine, arranged by O.J. Richards and led by Celicia James Martin. However, the excellent performances by Tobago's bands attracted criticism from a few people who alleged nepotism. They accused the president of Tobago, Beverly Ramsey Moore, and other Tobagonian members of influencing the process and giving favor to Tobagonian bands. Meanwhile, the visitor center at the Main Ridge Rainforest will be powered by solar energy. The investment was made possible through a collaboration between the European Union's Global Climate Change Alliance Plus initiative with the Ministry of Planning and Development and the UNDP. It is the first of 12 sites around Tobago that will be powered by solar energy. The initiative is in keeping with Tobago's trust to have greener sources of energy around the island. And nationally, Opposition Leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar called for National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines to resign because over 960 people were murdered under his tenure. She said that under his watch, there has been an explosion of violent assaults, woundings, robberies, carjackings, rapes, and home invasions. Persad-Bissessar also accused Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley of failing to develop a working and data-driven plan to tackle violent crime and restore public confidence. She urged Dr. Rowley to set aside his petty stubbornness and not allow 2023 to be even more bloody and violent than 2022. And that was the news in 90 seconds. It is back to you, Julian and Ria.
Thank you very much, Candice. Thank you, Candice. This morning looking lovely in that black and white combination there this morning.
Oh, you should see the shoes, Julian. You should see the shoes.
Don't worry, viewers. We're going to check it out. We'll check it out. So, viewers, we want to thank you so much for connecting with us here at the Tobago Updates morning show on this beautiful Monday morning. It's Monday the 16th of January. Have no fear. We are about just on the 500th day as we approach that million days that appears to be January in any given year. It seems longer than normal. But don't worry, folks, we're going to make it. We're just at the half mark. We're at the 16th of January. You know, it's that kind of way that this month appears to be much longer than any other within that full stretch. And yes, folks, I mean much longer in the context of on your pockets financially.
Yes, January always does that too because of the early time frame that persons would have gotten their salaries in December. So, you know, January always seems as though it's a month and a half longer than normal.
Yes, indeed. And this morning, I also want to highlight very quickly, and we can have that image up. Today is the final day, Monday, the 16th of January, for the close of nominations for the Tobago Youth Awards 2022. Today is the final day for the nomination period for the Tobago Youth Awards 2022. So we want to remind persons, feel free to connect with the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sports Facebook page, where you can find individual and group forms to nominate young persons between the ages of 10 to 35. And there's one category for 36 and over for Youth Mentor and group categories. So feel free, today is the final day. And we are on the note of Tobago Youth Awards. I want to say that it is quite unfortunate that anytime we feel that there is a Tobagonian at the helm, that automatically there's the feeling or the perception that there is some unfair advantage to Tobago. And I recall vividly in the time of Jomo Pitt then as secretary, and Tobago would have stood out at the national level, winning several awards. They said it was because Minister Kojo was from Tobago, and then Youth Director Mr. Kent was from Tobago. And I had to remind them, Tobago was winning awards since Minister Darrell, well before Minister Shamfa Kojo took up and leading the way. So we continue to operate in that manner as if it is Beverly Ramsey Moore, only because of her ascension and election to office that suddenly Tobago bands are doing good.
I saw those comments on
Tobago bands
social media.
would have been doing good, and I don't hear this kind of cry out when a band from any other area in Trinidad is able to excel and able to move forward. So come on, folks, let's recognize that this is Trinidad and Tobago, and whether you like it or not, we are all part of this beautiful, sweet island and this beautiful, sweet country called Trinidad and Tobago. Let's spread the love. We're heading into the carnival season. We're outside. We haven't been there for a while. Let's enjoy this thing and not get into this kind of confusion and bacchanal. All right. I will be between Trinidad and Tobago enjoying the season without hesitation as a proud Tobagonian. So, folks, let's not forget that at all as we go forward in the spirit of our growth and development. I want to also say kudos. I saw on spot at the part of the festivities a number of Tobagonians coming out. I'm heading across for this election. In fact, I was in Trinidad as well. Correct. Yeah. This weekend for other commitments, youth development work. And when you're calling a number of hotels to book, you're being told, well, they're already booked out with pan groups coming across from Tobago and the supporters. So that's a good indication. We also saw Deputy Chief Secretary, Dr. Faith B. Israel, and the Secretary with responsibility for culture, tourism, Secretary Councillor Tashia Boris in the mix, certainly lending that support with a number of other Tobagonians going out. But folks, at this point, we head straight on over to our birthday celebrations on this Monday morning as we celebrate the weekend and today all those who celebrated birthdays. We get started this morning with Ronaldo Belfon. Want to wish you a happy birthday. Some may know this face out of Viewport Supermarket, continuing to do his thing. My colleague out of we wishing you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings, Ronaldo Belfon.
Yes. And we got Anne-Marie Elder celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday this morning going out to you, Anne-Marie. And love from all of us here at Tobago Update.
Tennille Devines Hill, wishing you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings. My colleague Wood out of UWI and the Bishops wishing you a happy birthday, Tennille.
And we've also got Esbon Andrews celebrating her birthday. So Esbon, trust that you have a great one. Love from all of us here at Tobago Update.
David Allen, it's your day, wishing you a happy birthday, coming from the Tobago Updates family.
And we've got former
Assemblyman and Chief Secretary.
And the Chief Secretary, Ansel Dennis, celebrating his birthday today. Love going out to you this morning.
Happy birthday going out to you. We also have on screen Andre Brasnell, wishing you a happy birthday, Andre Brasnell, and God's continued blessings.
And that's my very good friend, Inspector Prince, celebrating her birthday. Inspector Sheila Prince, who celebrated, I think it was yesterday. But love going out to you, looking lovely as usual. Have a great one.
We got a birthday shout-outs going out to Cleo Williams. Cleo Williams, it's your day. Wishing you the very best and God's continued blessings coming from the entire Tobago Updates family. All right? Wishing you all the best.
And Adrian Moore celebrating her birthday. Love going out to you today, Adrian Moore. Trust that you have a great one. From all the Moors and Woods and Moors and Woods, have a great one.
And this is Kalen Jamois, all right, wishing you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings, continuing to make your strides and contribution out there in the entertainment industry. Well done. Happy birthday to you.
And it's a girl, Yolande Clark. Yolande Clark celebrating her birthday. Yolande Clark, have a great one today.
Yes, and I'm hearing all the shouts in my ears. Yes, it's Miguel.
That's right. That's
wishing Yolande a happy birthday. All right, we have on screen Janelle Makoni Critchlow, wishing you a happy birthday, and she's actually the outgoing president, handing over that title for this 2023 period. Commendations to you on an excellent year with JCI Tobago, and happy birthday, Janelle.
And this is my cousin-in-law, this is my cousin, Karen Paul, in fact, my daddy's cousin, celebrating her birthday. So Karen Paul, happy birthday going out to you this morning. Have a great one from the Richardsons here in Tobago. This is also my niece, Kyra Durham, celebrating her birthday today. So Kyra, love going out to you from Granddad and the aunties and uncles and cousins here in Tobago.
This looks like Miss in a fun time. Miss on the outside.
Miss on the outside. And this is Jamila Aminbaka celebrating her birthday. Never a dull moment with this lady. I tell you, retirement certainly does agree with her.
Yes, it does. It seems like she's out there even more now in her retirement, enjoying it fully.
That's right.
Wishing you a happy birthday, Miss.
Going out to you. But Julian, I see here on the live as well that Joan Phillips-Pear says the Tobago Update crew, Miss Ria and Julian, happy Monday. Greetings from Woodbridge, Virginia. A holiday in USA today, MLK birthday. And that's the Martin Luther King birthday being celebrated today. Wishing my husband, Joseph Fiorello, happy birthday today. You have our undivided attention. So happy birthday going out to you this morning, Joseph.
We trust that, and from what I see in following Joan Phillips Pay on social media, I know that he's going to have a high energy kind of Caribbean birthday out there. All right, so we want to wish you a happy birthday and God's continued blessings. Viewers, we thank you so much for the continued love and support. I think we've got an important group to commend that would have had an election this week, electing a new executive over the course of the weekend, and we want to send out some commendations. We're bringing up that group photo on screen to extend our congratulations this morning. Ria, what's the name of that organization?
And this is TAP, or the Association of Retired Persons. They were formerly known as the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Retired Persons. Now they are the Association of Responsible Persons. So this is their new committee, the Corals Zone, which was elected on Saturday, the 14th, which was last Saturday. So we have here Selby Cole, the new chairman, Elton Richardson, hi Daddy, good morning, vice chairman, Zilpha Edwards, Zilpha Edwards Moore, who's public relations officer, Heather Caruth, trustee, Sherma Benjamin, good morning Auntie Sherma, assistant secretary, Pamela Hepburn, trustee, Jeffrey Lewis, treasurer, Aldith Barry, assistant treasurer, and Roel Anderson, the new secretary. So this is the newly appointed board.
Some of my past teachers.
Some of your past teachers, some persons we know in so many different spheres of life, but congratulations going out to all of them.
Congratulations indeed. And yes, viewers, it's Monday the 16th, and we've got an exciting rundown coming up for you. We get started this morning as we hear from Assemblyman Ian Pollard, Secretary with responsibility for the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. And we will be speaking about the Mason Hall Mariah District Town Hall meetings. And certainly, you know, we don't miss an opportunity to get those updates in regarding the division and the responsibility of this secretary. So we look forward to these upcoming discussions with Assemblyman Ian Pollard.
And then we continue on this morning with Anderson Alfred, inspector of the TTPS attached to Sherburne Road Police Station, as we focus on the update from the police service as well as safety tips. He's going to give us some more information on that.
All right, and we close this morning hearing from the champs themselves. We will have the opportunity to chat with Uptown Fascinators, their very own, our very own OJ Richards and Celicia James Martin. So we look forward to those discussions as we chat with the champs here going forward. So that's our rundown for this morning. It's an exciting morning ahead. Exciting morning ahead.
Yeah, and viewers, maybe this time around you can see Julian in full action. I know when OJ is on set and the music starts to play, you're going to see the real Julian Skeet coming out.
God bless us all, Trinidad and Tobago. All right, folks, viewers, at this point, we say thank you so much, each and every one of you connecting with us via TV out there. That's M&E TV and Gael. Those of you connecting with us via radio, listening in as you're heading on into your workspace and place. Even my colleagues across there in Trinidad that say they tune in each and every day. Thank you so much for the continued love and support. And those of you within the region, far and wide and international, thank you so much for the continued love and support. Those of you online, we remind you that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. Socialize is yeah. Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. Tobago.
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
It's so much my heart could take. Socialize.
Socialize!
Freedom at last. Raise a glass. Boy,
socialize.
27th of January. Look for where.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago.
Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning,
Viewers, it is 7:20 a.m. and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. Viewers, in this segment, we have the opportunity to chat with Assemblyman Ian Pollard, Secretary with responsibility for the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. Morning to you, sir, and welcome.
Good morning, Julian. Good morning to your viewing audience. Good morning to my electoral district of Mason Moriah and the rest of Tobago.
And go in the spirit with Rhea. Looking shiny, brand new, and fresh this morning. And Rhea didn't say congratulations to you, Secretary. She said congratulations, wifey, to you out there for ensuring that she's well put together this morning.
Yes, she did.
So as we get the conversation started, Secretary, I think this is the first time we have you on for the new year.
Yes.
The start of the year this morning. And we want to take the opportunity. Today we're discussing the upcoming district town hall meeting scheduled for tomorrow.
Yes.
But just before we run on into that, I know that the secretaries and the collective team of the Executive Council would have started these meetings in December, and naturally the majority, if not all, required to participate as you all go around the Tobago space to engage with. Tell us a little bit about the startup of this initiative and how where that first meeting took place and the involvement and engagement of participants.
Well, Julian, we were mandated by the Chief Secretary to that we have these town hall meetings that we must attend, especially when you're going to places that you have, like how we have the housing development in Plymouth. We are glad for it because, persons are saying we're not on the ground, we're not in touch with the public, but we are glad for this initiative so that we could address the concerns of the citizens of the electoral district. Because when we went to Plymouth, we know that the citizens had a lot of concerns, the residents had a lot of concerns. And the Chief Secretary mandated that I have a meeting with the Chief Administrator and the TTMF to sort out some of the issues that they had. On the 9th of January, we did have that meeting and have that follow-up meeting with the residents, and we are able to work out everything quite amicably.
All right. So this is now the second meeting, because
Yes.
this is going to be taking place monthly.
Yes, it is.
All right. Tell us a little bit about what's going to be taking place tomorrow, where can persons gather, the time, etc.
Well, tomorrow we are at the Moriah Community Center. We start at 6:30 to 8:30. So a number of issues will be addressed. The concerns of the citizens. They come out, they hear their views, and we'll be able to address their issues as we go along.
Is this session limited to persons only from Moriah? Give us a sense of who it's open to.
It's open to the residents of Mason and Moriah and concerned citizens because, I'm here not only to serve my constituents, but I'm in charge of settlements. That means housing. So I'm here to address any situation by any citizen or residents within the space in Tobago.
Right, so there's a wider encouragement, Moriah and environs,
Yes.
Mason, etc., in terms of coming out.
Yes.
At these consultations, are there any age group limits, or you're inviting?
There's no age group, everyone,
Tobago?
because everyone has concerns, and we are glad. We are glad for the criticisms that will come because it will make us better. But now that we have settled into office and understand, because we were like a OJT the first year, learning, and we are still learning. But I am quite comfortable where I am, so I could really deliver to the persons. I'm really feeling revived. I'm feeling refreshed that I'm able to deliver, and I will be able to start delivering this year, this 2023.
All right. Tell us a little bit about your projections and planning. I know very early at the start of your year, you had a particular vision, and you continue to have that vision for your electoral district. What has the progress been in terms of making those plans? Because we know it doesn't just happen the click of a finger. The necessary plans have got to go into place to ensure that you're able to deliver. What has the progress been?
The progress has been great, and that's why I'm saying I'm feeling comfortable in my skin, because like today, we are starting the first housing development on the north side in Mason Hall. Today, our expression of interest closes at 3 o'clock. So then we'll have this list of contractors that shows interest, shortlist them, and we're hoping that the contract could be given out for the development of these houses within the mid-February latest, because we want to catch the short window of dry season that we have, because we're seeing that probably after April we'll be into the rainy season. So we're trying to get it out as early as possible so that at least the cleaning of the lands, the preparation could take place, and then we could work along the way so that we could deliver before 2025.
And this, just remind me again, this project is located where?
Adelphi in Mason Hall, just behind the works office opposite the Mason Hall High School. We have the geotechnical surveyors already done, so we're just about to send out our RFP. So interested contractors could place their tenders, and then we select someone and start the project. I'm really excited for that.
Any possible projections with how many you may be able to get in that area?
We are looking at between 60 to 100 units, because you know that Tongue and Country has changed the policies in Tobago where we could go as high as 4 stories. So in keeping with providing affordable housing for the residents and citizens of Tobago, we'll see how much units we could get out of each development and see what we could maximize to the benefit of the citizens of Tobago.
All right. We know that there was also a situation where the Tobago House of Assembly would have inherited one of those concerns coming out of the Crown Point area, with residents being displaced, etc., and then trying to ensure that's the Chauvin, in terms of what's the status with that area and with Cove, particularly to those who were seeking out, housing or lands, etc.
Well, what the Chief Secretary mandated Secretary James to construct, because we have about 50 residents in order to provide housing for. I think that mandate was given to the Division of Infrastructure. So Secretary James is now about to send out the tenders for contractors to construct these houses for those 50 residents. So I would guess that will start within the next month to 6 weeks, so that we could start constructing these houses for the residents at Crown Point.
Do you anticipate within this term of office, and that's the big question that people always want to hear, that there will be the delivery and not just the start of homes, delivery of homes and all lands and plots,
Julian,
over the period?
If I didn't deliver or the division didn't deliver, I would have considered it a failure. So my goal is to deliver every unit, and I'm not going to wait, because our policy is that as we construct homes, if we construct 50 homes in a block, we're going to just give it out. This will not be held back for no political gimmickry. Because I get the call every day, my colleagues get the call of persons who can't afford rent. They prefer to use the money they're paying in rent to a mortgage. So it's about delivering to the people who are most in need. Because, I mean, we're getting the calls day and night, and we would like to bring some measure of relief to these citizens of Tobago.
Some have asked, and tell us a little bit about the plans with regards to a number of grants being distributed. One in particular that was raised is the issue with regards to outhouses in Tobago still, and trying to see as best as possible persons that can be supported. What's the projections with that? Because some are saying that over the years since this grant has been introduced, that they're recognizing that we still have a number of persons in Tobago without outhouses, and really to question, are these grants going towards the persons who really need them, especially now? Have any changes been made to that program to ensure that they are directed to the rightful persons that require that kind of assistance?
Well, Julian, I've made a pronouncement to my team, my engineering team, that 2023 we're going to try to eradicate this whole outhouse situation. The grants do go to persons because we have engineering aides who go out and look at the homes and come back with the assessment. I mean, I go out with the team and I do my own assessment also. And some persons are really in need. So we intend to eradicate this outhouse situation by the end of 2023. Because we have a listing of, it's over 100 persons. We might be more because you have some persons living like off the main parts and stuff like that. But it's up to the engineering aides to go out and seek these persons out and bring some kind of measure of relief to them where they have indoor plumbing.
All right. We saw a mass distribution taking place last year and would have been touted as the largest in terms of grant distribution. Some have said, right, well, they do good and that is all we expect to see. Can you give a commitment that these will continue in terms of grants within the Tobago House of Assembly and through your division?
Julian, yes, you would see that. And actually, we have that grant distribution going on a daily basis. It's not something that I get intricately involved in, because that is the administrator and the unit usually handles those situations. So you're going to see that distribution, and we're trying to bring relief. We are in the process of changing the policies at the division because there's some shortfalls, there's shortcomings. There are persons who are trying to beat the system. So we're trying to see how best we could iron out the situation and make the policy, shape the policy that will benefit those who are most in need.
All right. Particularly as we look back at the focal area, which is tomorrow's town hall meeting, what are your expectations as we head on into your area?
Well, I expect that the people will come out. I will hear the criticism. I'll hear the concerns. I'll hear what they like, what they dislike. But that's all part of the course. It's about hearing what the persons, because I am one person to try to be honest. In order to deliver to my constituents and the wider aspect of the wider parts of Tobago, I have to be in the office to make things right, to put things in place. So I'll get that criticism of a person not seeing me, but it's something that I could live with, because once I know that I could deliver the services to the people, I would have done my job, or I'll be comfortable in my skin to know that I've been able to deliver to the people. So I expect the criticism. It's politics. You will never be praised every day. Somebody's going to find something to criticize about, but you just have to just take it with a smile and just deliver to the people.
All right. Someone here is saying, I got a message coming in social media, that they may not be able to be back in time, so they also want you to confirm the location and contact information for your offices within your electoral district, and possibly your office days if they want to still follow up with you after tomorrow.
Well, my office days is on the third Thursday of every month from 1 to 6, and the number there is 639-1929. That's the office number. But if someone wants to contact me, they could contact me at 788-3697. If you call and you don't get an answer, you could just send me a WhatsApp message, send me something via Messenger, and I try to respond as often as I can.
All right. So, folks, it's happening tomorrow. This is the continuation of the district town hall meeting, and it's heading to Mariah. What time is it from tomorrow, Secretary?
From 6:30 to 8:30 tomorrow.
All right. So from 6:30 to 8:30 tomorrow. Closing words as we look to wrap this morning's interview.
Well, I'm just trying to encourage all the residents of Mason, Mariah, and concerned citizens to come out tomorrow, share our concerns with us, because we are here to serve you, despite what is being touted in the space. But we need you to come out and hear our visions, hear our plans that we have for the electoral district for Tobago. But we are here to hear your concerns and deliver to you, to bring some ease or some measure of comfort to you within this period.
All right. Thank you very much there. Folks, we heard this morning from Assemblyman Ian Pollard, Secretary with responsibility for the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. And the district town hall meetings continue tomorrow in Mariah. For Mariah and environs, the entire electoral district. Come out, share your views, share your concerns, because it would appear the good thing, as Secretary has just confirmed, is you'll not only be hearing and seeing your area representative, but there will also be a collective opportunity to connect with members of the Executive Council. So this is your opportunity. The second edition takes place tomorrow. Viewers, we want to thank you so much for the continued love and support. This is the Tobago Updates morning show, coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. And therefore, we want to take this opportunity to remind you to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Mamai Lakai Home Services. We specialize in cleaning of carpets and rugs, mattresses, living room and dining room sets, vehicle detailing, cleaning and sanitizing of homes and commercial spaces. We also do landscaping and tree cutting, pressure and power washing, floor care, fumigating and air purifying. You can also call us for professional painting services, babysitting and adult sitting. Call us now, 333-4430 at Mamai Lakai Home Services. We take cleaning to another level. The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable. advertise with Tobago Updates. Call 284-6597. If you have a small or large business, we can get your information in front of the masses. Reach our rapidly growing viewership on Facebook and YouTube. Promote your brand in Trinidad and the Caribbean through M&E TV Now and Gayel. Yes, we can build unique ads for your business. Call now 284-6597 and advertise with us.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Switzerland, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates. Real questions and honest conversations with the sole aim of keeping you fully in the know. Full disclosure with the executive every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
And we can see here this is the open stew.
beautiful view indeed there this morning, Rhea. And that is the Auchensteer, yes, Auchensteer roundabout. And I think these roundabouts date back to the time of then Infrastructure Secretary Hilton Sandy, when roundabouts was a new thing in the Tobago space. And welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. It is 7:40 a.m. This morning. And you see, we have gone into, we're going into our relaxed, celebratory kind of mode because we're seeing who we have on set with us this morning. Rhea.
That's right. No strangers to Tobago, and I dare say to Trinidad, and to those of you in the Caribbean. You know, this is Mr. OJ, and we have to put the title here now. This is like, before all of this, he was just OJ Richards. Now he is Mr. OJ Richards, the arranger, composer of Uptown Fascinators, and the winners of this year's 2023 Panorama and Medium Band competition. Small band competition.
Yes.
We've got joining us in just a little while, Celicia James Martin, who is the captain.
Yes, captain of the band. And I know a long time being there from inception, full supporter of Uptown Fascinators and making it happen in the mix. As we get started this morning, Rhea intimated something there. And I'm going to start on the end before we go back. Will you all be participating in the medium band section? And when is that set to take place here in Tobago?
Well, I mean, we all would like to progress and expand as we go along. So I don't see Uptown Fascinators being in the medium category being an impossibility. It is definitely something that could happen in the future. And the band is growing. The band is growing every year. So that's things to come. So we might have some problems in the medium category eventually. You never know.
Yes, viewers, we start the thing back to front. We give it futuristic perspectives. And let's revert now to the good start. So, OJ, tell us about, for you, that whole getting into this thing. Because some people who don't know the name, few do within Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
I feel that it's just calm, young fella, and they want to elevate him and play. Tell us a little bit, about your background.
Okay, well, as you would have said, as people know, my name is OJ Richards. I am a steel panist, arranger, composer. I would have started playing pan roughly around 5-6 years old. And from there, I just kind of picked up the instrument. I didn't like it at first, actually. But my mom just sent me to summer camp to play pan with the All Boys Steel Orchestra, where I would have started off my first time playing the steel pan. And from there, I just kind of grown to like the instrument a bit. And we would have migrated to Carib Dixieland. That's a medium band down in Mount Pleasant. And from there is when I really picked up the true passion of arranging. That's when Mr. Len Bugsy Sharp would have came to do a rendition for us in the Panorama competition. And just seeing how he operates and just taking music from inside his head and just releasing it into the band. He didn't have a paper, he didn't have a music sheet, anything like that. And he just started just calling out notes and just, the band would just, you just hear the music just come together. And to see that was amazing for me. And that was something I just said to myself, this is something I want to do. This is something I think that I could excel in because the ideas that I have, I could put forward and people enjoy the music. And I think I could be able to win the Panorama one day. And I just worked towards that. That was my goal. And so said, so done.
So as we say in Tobago, he had no just come. I mean, he may look 18. He may look 18, but no Johnny come lately. For those of you viewing in the region and internationally, he has a wealth of experience. That's what that means.
And quite recently, I was having a conversation with your uncle, Doran Sizzler.
Yes.
And he said to me, he said, Auntie Rhea, yes. He said, Auntie Rhea, the difference between OJ and Len, now he likened you somewhat to Len Bugsy Sharp, but he said the difference is Len had it innate. It was a part of him, but you took it to the next level in that it was in you, but you also studied it.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how many persons out there know, and I have to say, who your daddy is. All right? Who your daddy, who your papa is. And I have to say here, Orrin Richards. Orrin, you have also taken it to the next level, several levels up from Orrin. And if you know anything about Orrin, is that Orrin was a boss in his time when coming to music, arranging, composing.
Yes.
You have taken it to several levels up, and not just the next level, which is several levels up. Tell us about that connection between, what your father was able to do, and what you're doing now, because you certainly put the Richards name? I
Okay.
mean, it's a different thing.
Well, I come from a musical background, and like you would have said, Orrin Richards would have been an important part in my development. But that is not to say anything to take away from my mom, Jennifer.
No,
she was a serious part
was a
of that
singer.
just as well, yes. So there was that balance was there between Orrin Richards and Jennifer, and they would have made sure that whatever I wanted to do, that I would excel in it, because I am not necessarily, both of them were singers, and I didn't want to sing. I didn't think that, singing would have been my forte, but I took that music and I channeled it into another medium, and they were there to support me regardless of what I decided to do. And so from there, the musical background I would have had, I had a studio, I had access to a studio. My father had a studio there. I had access to instruments, keyboard, other instruments, because I do play other instruments as well.
What else?
I play
Pan?
I play the steel pan. I can play the guitar. I can play the bass guitar a little bit to the keys. I could play the trap set, the drums. So I have some experience in other instruments. So I have
some experience, like it's, just some experience.
Yeah. So the support of my parents was great. Like I said, whatever it is I wanted to do, they would find ways to support me and to support me fully, not just, this is okay, this is what you want to do, we just help you out, just like that. There was support, and there is always support. I always have them in my corner. My mom is always calling me to find out how is the band going. So I could put it like this. My father, he would have given me the musical background. My mom helped as well, but he's more dealing with the music side of it. My mom would have been, that stronghold, emotional side.
Yes.
Good
morning, Jenny.
She's there to support me, no matter what it is, no matter what doubts I might have, because I terribly overthink, and that's my problem. My mind is always going a million miles per second, and I'm always overthinking things. So she's always there to keep me grounded, to just keep me. She's always telling me, make sure I'm praying, make sure you're always prayed up.
Yeah.
Don't study the noise on the outside. Just focus on what you have to do, and God will take care of the rest. So to have that balance between my father and my mother there, that is what I would say is what made me and brought me to where I am today.
And just before you go, Julian, and your sister Leah,
Yes.
vocals.
Yes.
I don't know what J.O. does.
Vocals as well.
Vocals, okay. So it is definitely a musical.
Yes.
A musical family.
Yes, it is.
Would I want you to tell us, on that day, this weekend, as you were there, you came off the stage, you all did what you had to do, the entire band. How did you feel? And I want to get that mix between how you felt, as an arranger after the performance, and then similarly, the victory that we are seeing on screen. Did you feel confident when you were finished playing? We win this thing.
So this year, and also the year that we won in 2020, coming off the stage, there was not any. You would never find that I'm in a point where I'm saying, yes, they can't touch me, we win, that is it, we're done, wow. Uptown Fascinators, nah. I am always nervous. I'm always thinking, what if this?
And that's a good place to be, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely good not to be comfortable, because when you get comfortable, you get lazy.
That's right.
And you don't think that you need to progress. So when we come off the stage, I'm thinking of everything. Was the band clean? Was the band tight? I wonder what the judges think about that. Because we take risks and we try different things. And there was no sense of, yeah, that is it there. We leave it on the stage, we win. That's it. It was just like nervousness. And then, sitting down in the stands and you hearing the results. That my worst part of the panorama is sitting down to hear these results. Because during the years back, I would have tried to leave. When the results coming out, I would try to leave because I can't take that pressure.
Too much on you.
So we're there and I was even lying down on the ground just listening to the results go down, because you hear the bands just going from 15, 13, wherever coming down. And when the air gets red, that's what, like the top 3 or top 4. For some reason, the announcer just starts to speak really slow. So, they're like, there's a tie for 3rd place. And, they will give you that pause. And then they just start back. So then this pause is just like, so then she's like, first place made how much ever points, second place whatever points. And in second place, they gave us whatever, and then she just had this big pause again. So we just there waiting to hear, like, then you hear TNT Defense Force. So then from there it was just like an explosion, because we know once you hear another band name before yours, and the only other name left is Uptown Fascinators. So we just ran on stage, and that feeling upstage is just like, you couldn't believe it. It was like a dream. I was still trying to come to terms with it. We were just like in Jubilee on stage,
Tell us
jumping
about
up.
this image on stage.
Yes. So, like I said, I couldn't believe it, right? So, when I heard Uptown Fascinators win, we just run up on stage, we jumping up, you know, and I just kind of like, you know, I just kind of fall to the floor, and I just
So you appear to be on the ground.
Yes, so I just fell to the floor. I had to take a quick little prayer. I didn't,
Thank you,
know,
Jesus.
yeah. So it was like, you know, I just dropped on the floor, just like, you know, cover my face, like, you know, I couldn't believe it. Like, I just saying, you know, thank you, Father, because we prepared for it. They gave me the trophies. So I just there on the ground, you know, just there. So
Just
then somebody,
basking in the
yeah.
moment.
And somebody they took some pictures while I was on the ground with it. So that's how you saw me there on the ground.
Yes, because I know we have a couple images to pull up there in terms of the selection, and your colleagues as well. Salisha,
yes.
as captain, your supporters, the members of the band. Tell us about that kind of full experience. When the reality hit you.
So Salisha is kind of like me in terms of always overthinking and nervous about what the outcomes could be. But the players, I must say, the players of Uptown Fascinators, they have a kind of confidence, but I want to make sure and say it's confidence. It's not boastful. They don't have a boastful spirit or anything. But from the time we started learning this song, you know, from the time each stage, they just have this kind of confidence, like, yeah, this is ours, you know. And I actually needed that, because if the players are not feeding, you know, if you can't feed off the players, they get a different vibe, they get different music. And also they were confident from the time we put on certain parts in the song. Like, this part here, boy, yeah, boy, you see this now, this panorama, yeah, boy. This song is like, you know, and then I'm always wondering, like, oh, they're so confident about this. Like, you know, like, I always wondering, is this good enough? Is this good enough? And then the results, as we progress, you're hearing, and then you start to think, well, yeah, I guess it is good enough, because the results are showing. But no matter the stage, no matter how good we do, I always thinking, like, you know, what could be, because I mean, when you think about it, right, I would think my music is good enough. But the second place, third place, fourth place, fifth, going down the line, they also think their music is good enough. And what is to say that they can't come and win just as I won? So, you know, it's not to the point where I could always just jump up and say, my music is good enough to win and we are going to win, because there are other people, other very, very talented arrangers and very, very talented bands that could come and take that first place just like us. We prepared, and we were clean and we executed, and the judges decided that we were the winners of that night.
All right. I want to ask you about your choice of song.
Yes.
Your choice of song. Why that song?
So Dollar Wine. So I like old songs. I like old school songs.
No, I have to say here, viewers, when he says old songs, just know here that I was around in that time. So what are you? I feel as though he's like me, you know. I'm not grabbing onto him, but when he says I like old songs, I was around, but that was just the other day, man.
Relative old. We could use the old as a relative term. I like songs that are older than a year ago. If that's
so go ahead.
Probably for real, we call it the classics.
Yeah, because honestly, the music that was being produced back then, you have a lot of harmonic developments and melodic developments that you could relate to a lot more than what we get in today. I mean, that's not to take away from the artists of today. I'm just saying my preference would have been from back in the day, where you have a lot more chord structures that you could pull from, and my style of arranging, I pull from the song a lot. I pull from what I could use from the song, and these chords and different things that I have more than just 2 chords that I could work with. So just to start off with that, I like to choose songs from the classics. And with that now, it's not just like I'm just going to find a song from 1980 something and just go with that. It has to be a song that was a hit, you know, something that young and old could relate to.
Right.
So I know the Dollar Wine song, you could ask generally the general public and 8 out of 10 would know the song and could relate it. And it's a very enjoyable song. You know, when you hear cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, it's something you must tap your foot, something you must shake a leg or something. And I thought that song would have been perfect. And actually, is my UTT colleague, Ray Sparman, he's actually a student coming from Guyana to Trinidad and Tobago. He always is around the pan world. He plays with all stars, with Leon Smooth Edwards and whatnot. He's deep into the pan world. And we just there talking, we were in school and we were just talking. And that was quite back after I Don't Mind, when we won for I Don't Mind. And we were just going through and I'm like, so I wonder what I'm going to come up with next, boy. And we just throwing out different song ideas and things. And he was like, boy, this song, you know, was a good song. Dollar Wine, cent, 5 cent. I was like, you know, that's a good option. That song, Dollar Wine, is a really good option. So then I just took that and I just started working on that early up. And then COVID came. So then we just gave it a pause and I just kind of stopped off for a while and came back and get into the song. And the song, I don't know, it was just a great option. The song, I was feeling off for the song. The band was feeling off for the song. And every idea we brought, the band enjoyed it and we just went with it. So that's how we ended up going with Dollar Wine.
I want to get an idea, from you, Rian. You know, I hear him talking in relation to the music, and I say to myself, such a powerful tune, and no better time to have the energy join in, because I think for as long as I have known Salisha, faithful to her Uptown Fascinators from the very start, and I'm so happy she has joined us here in the mix, trophy in hand. You know what I mean?
That's
you know what it is
right.
to reach studio, make sure I want my trophy.
That's right.
To stand out in the mix. Tell us about your feeling as you heard those results announced on the night.
Well, we all hope to retain the title and to bring it back to Tobago. I mean, there's always anxiety. Everybody was hella nervous.
Yes, we heard that you're both overthinkers, yeah.
And, I mean, from the time third place, second place call, I mean, everybody was rushing on stage. Some of us couldn't even make it. Some of us fell down. So it was ecstatic. I mean, we are overjoyed to retain the title, to bring this back home to Tobago.
What does this victory mean once again? Particularly for me, you know, I'm big in terms of youth development, and I know you'll feel as well as an educator, in terms of encouraging and reminding our young persons that, yes, you could play in a Tobago band and still obtain a national achievement. How important is that?
We tell them, you know, you must work hard. In working hard, you also need to not say things like, well, the judge's thief, or we should have won, and all of that.
You train your band member. Maybe you need to go ahead.
I want you to say it for national.
No, I train them. Whatever the judges decide, it's their decision. You
That's
don't
right.
walk around talking, oh, we should have won, or anything like that. We accept whatever it is. And I told them, no matter who wins, we will be on stage.
That's right.
But as she said that, we spoke about Tobago bands and realizing that, you know, you could win with a Tobago band. That's something that we can't just brush past, because in the past, you know, Tobago and Tobago bands would have been somewhat overlooked as, you know, like...
Speak the truth.
You know, back in the day, you would have the list of Trinidad bands and whatnot. And in the results, you would hear, like, Tobago is somewhat there. And I think we just got to a point that we just said, enough is enough. We know that we could stand up against Trinidad in the competition, but I don't want to say that that it's a separate entity, Trinidad, then Tobago. That's just how it was. The Tobago bands were not performing as well, and then we decided, you know, we want to change that. And then you realize bands in Tobago just started stepping up their game. All the bands in Tobago, not just Uptown Fascinators, all the bands in Tobago just started stepping up their game. And you're just realizing that we had enough, and we just saying that we are part of this competition too, and then we just started putting in some serious work. All the bands in Tobago, like I said, all the bands in Tobago just started putting in serious work. And I just want to congratulate all the Tobago bands, all the Tobago arrangers as well, the young arrangers coming up, myself, Kush, Ramsey, Keyshawn, Julian, all the Tobago arrangers, Michael Toby, Marina Marfan, the names. I mean, if I forget anybody, I apologize. But I just don't want us to take that for granted, because I speak. I mean, myself and Kush Ramsey, we are good friends. We are co-arranging for Silver Stars. I speak with Keyshawn all the time. I speak with Michael Toby and Marina and all of these people, and they are all humble people, and they are excelling in their field as arrangers. And I am looking at the progress that Keyshawn would have made as well. He's one of the youngest arrangers coming out, because he just started, and the things that he is doing, you know, it's amazing, and they are going to be coming from my neck very soon, because you're seeing them excelling, and you're seeing the progress that they're making. And I remember that progress that I would have made. Like, I can't look back at the first song that we did, which was Good Morning, and the first song that I arranged for. I can't look back at that without cringing, because you're looking at it and you're like, ooh, that was corny. That was real corny. And to see where we are now. And I think the entire country of Trinidad and Tobago are seeing where these Tobagonians are excelling, because there was a point in time where you would always find they are calling Trinidad arrangers to come to Tobago to help out with the band, which we were grateful for. And then you see now that Tobago is saying, you know, we have that talent just as well up here, and we could take it down. And now you're seeing Trinidad calling Tobago arrangers to come down, and we are grateful for the opportunity. We are grateful to show that we have talent as well. So I just wanted to make mention of that as well.
And as the chairman of Tobago region, I will also like to clear up a couple things.
Please do.
There is a narrative being pushed that Tobago bands don't normally do well in the small band category. That is not true. I can give you facts on our achievements in the small band category. So from 2017, we had 5 bands in the finals. 2018, 2019, 2020, 5 bands in the finals. And you all know we had a pause for 2 years for COVID.
Yes.
So in 2023, our bands, we continued, we never stopped. They continued learning. And for 2023, we had 6 bands in the finals. So I don't want anyone to take away
that data, because I feel like it is so important.
Yes.
Because it's like, you know, it's so important for persons to understand this. That is not just a no in terms of Tobago's involvement. So you just recap from as early as...
So from as early as 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, we have had 5 bands in the small band category. Now, this is something I have boasted about in chairman meeting, that the Tobago region have dominated the finals. All the chairmen, whether North, East, Central, and South, they know that Tobago bands have been doing well. And for 2023, we have had 6 bands in the finals. And one more thing I need to clear up. There is also another thing being pushed, that because another band, quote unquote, had points taken away, which is not true. The rules for Pan Tobago, because of what happened with single pan bands and a band in Tobago as well, that when persons went over, points was taken away, or if they didn't have enough players, they were not able to perform or get judged. The rules with respect to time was changed. It was amended for the finals. And the amendment states that a band could play up to 8 minutes, 25 seconds. The band that they are claiming that points was taken away from is not true. No points was taken away from that band. So I don't want anyone to take away from the achievement of Uptown Fascinators and from Tobago.
And that's important clarification. And if my information is accurate, that kind of achievement started from as early as 2017, as you're saying, And Beverly Ramsey Moore was only elevated as the first woman president going into the 2019 Carnival in late 2018. So it means clearly, even well before, you know, in terms of her time and her advent in the leadership of Pan Trinbago, particularly as the first woman president, we have seen Tobago elevated. And I feel like those facts are so important to remind the persons ultimately, because, you know, going off of what OJ would have just indicated, the essence of Trinidad and Tobago recognizing the talent among bands, whether arrangers and so, to be able to contribute is exceptional. I also want to get your feel particularly because you sit here on set, and if we were doing this same interview years ago, the captain might have been somebody twice your age, the arranger might have been somebody twice. Tell us about how important, again, you feel that this is, even as persons holding leadership, you know, chairman of the Tobago region and so on, as persons holding leadership in this industry.
Okay, so I started in a leadership position from Our Boys, honestly. I came out of Our Boys. I started playing pan 11 years old. So I've been 20-something years. Don't try to guess my age, but it's been a while. I was vice captain for them, and I started attending Pan Trinbago meetings and stuff like that. And there were persons within there that saw that I had some potential to become a leader. So they asked me to run for an election. And that's where I started in Pan Trinbago in 2009. And I mean, I started from assistant secretary. I came all the way up. And not because you're young means that you know everything. There's also institutional knowledge. You have to learn from others. And when I went there, I looked at Mary Toby and I looked at Miss Ramsey Moore and how they represented their bands and themselves. And that was something that I wanted to emulate. I wanted to learn from them. I also learned a lot from Mr. Jeffrey Joseph, when he was chairman of the Tobago region and I was the assistant secretary there. And management of Uptown Fascinators, as I said, I was in Our Boys before I was in Uptown. My father started, he and a couple others, they started Uptown Fascinators. And when I left Our Boys, I entered the band. I was not a foundational member of the band because I had another band. And after he died, that's when I took over management of the band. And he was the manager, I was the captain, and we kind of just paired the two roles. So I became captain manager. And I mean, it's difficult. It's tiring. And as an educator as well, sometimes I buff my children a lot, I'm telling you. Because I mean, I tell them that whatever you do, whoever come into your band is going to do what you do. So you have to always be above board. Exactly. When you set the example, then no one will come into your band and do what you want. So the discipline is there. I mean, we still have a lot more to do, but we try to teach them. I mean, I'm still learning myself, but I just try to teach them whatever I learn. And I could see growth in them. I could see them stepping up and taking up roles that they would not normally do. I mean, because I mean, some of them, they're in their 20s now. Some of them started at 7 and they're 21, 22 now. So, you know, they always want to go and party and line, but they also have their roles and responsibility within the band that I can say that I'm very proud of them and they are doing well.
I just want to add to that. So you would hear names like Michael Gabriel, Akil Laria, David Yundi, Marklon Byron, O.J. Richards, Kirsch Ramsey, Keyshawn Julian, and the list goes on, right? These are all young arrangers. And I think the bands in Trinidad and Tobago now, Stephon West as well, I don't know if I forget to mention him, the bands are realizing that the youths now are the ones that, this is the direction that is a good direction to go. Let's try the youths take up arranging. All these names I called would have been young arrangers that would have participated for this panorama here and will be participating as the competition goes on. And I think they could see that the youths are bringing a different style, a different sense of imagination and creativity, and they're finally taking a chance on us. And I think that's a good thing, that they're taking a chance on the youths now.
I feel like Pan, I don't want to miss, Ria, I know we're getting the cue, but I don't want to miss the opportunity to touch on supporters. Salisha, is Alana Harry playing pan?
She's not playing pan, but
Right.
she supports.
And that's what I want to see. That I want you to tell us about persons like that. It doesn't matter what circle I am in, Alana, wherever. Once you talk pan, the first name comes out of about, yes, Alana, calling you out this morning. It's Uptown Fascinators. Until, in another space, co-workers and I will give her a talk. Where's this Uptown Fascinators years ago? We had no about our band. Tell us specifically about one or two of those supporters that they may not be playing pan, but no matter what, they are there to support us as part of the pan fraternity.
Yes, our supporters are very important because they are the ones that will carry a name. They are the ones who will give support financially when, most of the bands are unsponsored. So they will give support financially. They will also give moral. Yeah, we don't even have a pan yard.
We actually have to
So
practice.
where did you practice?
We in the car park up at the food hub there. We don't have a pan and we actually had to push the rocks up to the food hub there and practice. But we wanted it. We wanted it. So we didn't
Bad
dwell.
enough, clearly.
Yeah, we
And
didn't.
still, I think I saw, even from passing by during practice, people coming there and listening to you
Yes.
while you're practicing.
Yes. So we practice there. We use, and I don't know if you all know, these string lights in order to get lights.
Tie up the lights and
Yeah, and they plug it in and they use the receptacles thing. So that's what we use. And I really, we had to move 2 weeks before the preliminary round. So, we thought, that would have kind of pushed us backwards. But, as again I said, discipline, they worked. They were hungry for it.
They were hungry for it, and you wanted bad enough.
Exactly.
Clearly they did.
Certainly. Excitement indeed. Final 30 seconds. What can we look forward to?
Well, we can look forward that Uptown Fascinators is going to be fighting hard to get a hat trick. Because we have 2 right now, and we're looking to try to get that 3rd one. I know it's going to be incredibly difficult. A hat trick is not something easy that you just go and it's handed to you. And like I said, the other bands are coming and the bands are coming hard. And we know that. We know that. So we just have to work extra hard.
Yes. And upcoming, we are hoping to get a pan yard. We could do a lot
Place
more.
you can call home.
Exactly. We could do a lot more if we have a pan yard. We could start doing tutorship. OJ could start teaching people music, and teaching them to play pan. So we look forward to that type of development. We've been struggling for a while since we started bouncing around. If you go through the history of the band, you could see, if you go on YouTube, you could see a lot of interviews where this has happened to us before. And I think it's time. It's time.
And they've certainly proven themselves. Yes, folks, Uptown Fascinators. Camera behind there, ready and energized and excited. Candace Jackson ready to run on set. In the mix here with the celebration. We really want to extend our sincere congratulations to Uptown Fascinators and in fact all our Tobago bands and arrangers and so on, really making an impact out there in Trinidad and Tobago at the national level. Kudos to you indeed. And in fact, all those members and players and so on within the band. We continue to look forward.
Definitely, but even as we're getting ready to close, I'm hoping that we're not going to close with pictures. I'm hoping that we can actually close with the music because Julian is ready. Julian is ready to run off set, hands in the air, dollar whining for you viewers.
Offset.
He will be dollar whining whilst he gets off the set. But certainly we say congratulations to you. You deserve every bit of success, every bit of the winnings. You deserve it.
Thank you very much.
Clearly you wanted it bad enough. And that's a lesson to a lot of our other young persons out there, not only in the area of pan, even in your academics. You wanted bad enough, let nothing stop you. There was no pan yard, there was no home to the team. They had no lights, the strong lights, as Salisha said. So I'm saying they wanted it bad enough and they worked hard for it. So work hard. And you will be able to sit on set and reap the benefits and smile just like they are, even as you enjoy the fruits of success. So we're going to leave it there, yeah?
Uptown Fascinators.
Come on, Julian, the chant is...
We're ready for the music.
We're ready for the music. So we say over to GMT with Candace. Viewers, have a great day. We will see you tomorrow.
Yes, bye.
Come on, say bye, everybody. Bye.
Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry if your nice car get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Rest assured helped me to cope with the unexpected, provides financial help for final expenses. Rest assured, the affordable financial comfort plan, Tatil Life, guaranteed protection.
Welcome to Lamarge Parfait Day Spa and Wellness Center, your premier spa experience located at Bonaccord, Tobago. Visit us today for facials, cellulite treatments, body contours, body treatments, pedicures, manicures, and much more. We have gift cards for all occasions and corporate events. Connect with us on Facebook at Lamarge Parfait Day Spa or call us 273-7772.
Whole Life helps me secure their future, provides financial protection with added benefits. Whole Life, the affordable financial benefits plan. Tatil Life, guaranteed protection.
Welcome. It's Christmas time at Lamarge Parfait Day Spa.
Feliz Navidad. Bienvenido a Limas Parfait Day Spa.
Our national borders, our first step to security, but a possible access point for guns, drugs, crime. If it does not look right, do the right thing. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously. 800-8477. Report possible border crime.
Lifespan is the affordable critical illness plan you need. Cover expenses up to $1 million. Tatil Life, guaranteed protection.
Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad, and the region, with the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candace Jackson, and well, viewers, we're going to get straight into conversations this morning. Well, coming off of the high of Tobago, of Uptown Fascinators from Tobago winning the small conventional pan championship. So again, we want to send our congratulations to them. I am certainly very proud because Salisha James and O.J. Richardson are two of my classmates, well, schoolmates, as to say, you know, shining a light, and I've watched their journey since we were in school together, you know, growing up, and, you know, just seeing how they achieved and getting to this point, amazing, and just continue to shine with excellence despite what some people in quarters are saying. But getting into our conversations this morning, I have with me on set none other than Inspector Anderson Alfred, and we are just going to be speaking a little bit about what's been happening within our space and getting prepared for Carnival 2020. Of course, that's extremely important at this point in time. But first of all, good morning. I'll welcome to you. And I think this is the first time we're seeing you for the new year. So Happy New Year.
Indeed it is. Thank you, and Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you for having me.
Great. So getting straight into things now, we had some incidents that happened over the weekend. There were some shootings and some stabbings. You know, what information are you able to share with us at this point in time?
What I am able to share with you as it relates to those reports, we had one report of shooting that took place within the week of last week. So we are able to get persons of interest in our custody that are assisting to our investigation, and that investigation is going quite well. Hats off to Sergeant Wilson of the Sherman Road CID and his team. They are doing a wonderful job. So the victims and families of the persons involved will get redress very, very soon. And also relative to the woundings, we have persons, they were taken to the hospital. We also have persons of interest in custody as well that will be dealt with according to law. So we had a successful reaction to all criminal activities over the weekend within the Tobago division.
Are we seeing any increases in gun violence? Are these incidents indicative of such? Or?
No. Well, what I could probably say, when we look at the statistics from the 1st of January 2022 to the 7th, the first week, that is that we have available right now, and compared to this period, the 1st of January to the 7th, 2023, there was a significant decrease. There was an 81% decrease in criminal activities, serious related crimes, that is. So we had 16 last year, and we only have 3 this year. So what is happening is that our Christmas into New Year anti-crime plan is working. But what we are going to do now is to make the adjustment as we transition into the carnival season. So what the public will look forward to is more robust police presence on our roadway. So we are paying attention to safety on the roadway and in all public places.
So what are some of those tips that you want the public to know, especially as it relates to road safety?
Indeed. We want to start with the vehicles. You know, as we consider driving, as I said in some places, that driving is a social activity. The individual driver behind the wheel is more than just a driver, is a father, family, friend, or relative in any way. So the other road users need to consider each other. It is a social activity because we all share the same roadway. So when we look at our statistics, most of the road traffic accidents, particularly the fatal accidents, come about because persons do not adhere to the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. Particularly look at driving under the influence. And we're into the carnival season, so we'll be doing some robust public service announcement concerning driving under the influence. And in our fetes and in our carnival events, we are working together with the stakeholders, those persons who are promoting the fetes, those persons who are keeping these activities, partner with us so that we can provide a safe zone. A safe zone really is an area where participants in carnival activities, parties, fetes, or even, as you mentioned before, panorama activities could come and have themselves voluntarily tested for the levels of alcohol within their system, rendering them capable to drive and control a vehicle. We also look at persons adhering to the laws, that is the driver's attitude in relation to using the vehicles on the roadway and paying attention to the instructions of the police officers or even the traffic signs and traffic regulation. In Tobago particularly, we also look at speeding. We have coming on stream soon devices, more electronic devices to measure and calculate and calibrate speed. So, you know, we should see persons adhering to it because that the use of information and communication technology is part of our tool that we are moving into advancement in our crime and law enforcement activities. So that's some of the activities that you will see coming on stream.
Are you aware of the statistics in terms of, you know, accidents caused by drunk driving in Tobago? I mean, do we have any of that data to show how much alcohol contributes to accidents on our roadways?
I have for you a more broad scope, more view of it, because nationally we had 97 fatal activities within Trinidad and Tobago. So because what we're looking at, the crime plan that relates to TTPS, it governs the 2 islands. So we have 97 fatal accidents last year. It is in a sense, we did not meet the 100 mark. However, 57% of those fatal activities took place on minor road or on the main roads. And it's only probably, I think it's 37% on our highway. So what is happening is that drivers, we need to be careful on our roadways. 37, and as we say, pedestrians and drivers account for most of the activities that relates to fatal accidents. So what we are doing, we are going to enhance our public service announcements and sharing of information such as programs like these for persons to be careful. We look at persons to ensure that their vehicles are roadworthy. You as a driver, you are personally responsible to ensure that your vehicle is roadworthy. There are some checks that you can do before the licensing authority or the police officer have to give you a ticket. Check your tires, ensure that your tires are roadworthy, ensure that your braking system is roadworthy. You can go to your regular mechanic and have these checked. You do not wait until something is wrong and then you go to the mechanic. Make sure that you go and you get your vehicles checked, your lights, ensure that your windscreen is clear. There's something I observed that most people as a style, they drive with their side mirrors closed in.
Yes.
That is an offense in itself. Driving without the use of the side mirrors, that is an offense indeed. And it also creates a greater blind spot. When you are driving, you are unable to see the vehicle that is behind of you. You're unable to reverse properly. You're unable to see someone is driving too close behind you and stuff like that. So we are looking at personal responsibility for drivers on the roadway. We also want to caution pedestrians. Pedestrians, especially those who are coming from the feds. You may be under the influence of alcohol. You may be wearing non-reflective clothing. You may be,
and I think it's something you need to repeat because I don't think we realize sometimes how the clothes that we wear at night, how that affects what drivers can see on the road.
Indeed, indeed. Because when we are accounting for fatalities, 37% were on the highways. 37% fatalities on the highways, and that includes pedestrians as well. 34% drivers, 34% pedestrians. So pedestrian activity accounts for a certain amount, a significant amount in fatalities on the road. We look at persons who they are not aware that their clothing sometimes is dark clothing at night in poorly lit areas, to compete with drivers who themselves may be under the influence of vehicles, the lights not properly working. So we have two entities competing for the use of the roadway. And let's say the persons coming from the feds are under the influence of alcohol. The ability to ensure that they remain on the pavement, they remain within the safe side of the roadway is impaired. So we are looking at personal responsibility as well. Because we look at persons who are under the influence may want to judge the speed of a vehicle, the distance of a vehicle, and they are unaware and hoping that this driver may have seen them for a certain distance and react accordingly, but that is not always so.
All right. Well, Inspector Alfredo, thank you so much for being on with us. We are unfortunately out of time this morning, but we have to move on. We have the Secretary of Education who's on with us next. So viewers, don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back after this break.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denicia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning.
Or know about a crime? Report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero. Champion. Fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
Was a while before Christmas, and all through the land, people was putting away house with very little money in hand. They was painting and cleaning and doing their chores, but I went to hunt for deals at American stores. Deals on living and dining room sets, on fridges and stoves, beds and cabinets, on washers and dryers, small appliances cheap, even TVs and stereos, prices just can't be beat. So let's Christmas together at American stores. After all, what they tell me, anything could be yours.
It's a different type of thing down there. Man, we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there.
Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. Socialize is yeah. Don't worry, lover. Don't worry, friend. Don't worry, partner. Tobago.
Socialize! Friday, 27th of January, Shore Park Complex.
It's so much man good day. Socialize.
Socialize!
Socialize! 27th of January. Look for where? Yeah. Hey.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. On Tobago Updates, well, viewers, we are joined by none other than the Secretary of Education, Research and Technology, Miss Zorisha Hackett. I apologize.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning. Good morning to the Division of Education, Research and Technology, and a special good morning to the Electoral District of Bethesda-Lekatu.
Great. So we're going to get straight into it. I want to start first with what's happening with Scarborough Sec. I know you put out some things yesterday, but just for the viewers who are listening, you know, what is the latest information where that's concerned, where the improvements to the school is concerned, and then of course the eventual new construction of it.
So since schools reopened fully in about April 2022, in that third term, the Division of Education, Research and Technology has embarked on a restoration project for Scarborough Sec. You know, the challenge with Scarborough Sec, and it's 62 years old this year, is of course age. And so constant and frequent maintenance is important. And what we realized is in that pandemic period, the lack of maintenance, you know what happens once you have a building or anything that you're not utilizing, what happens over time. And therefore the challenges presented at the institution proved to be very, very extensive. And so what we embarked on is a strategic direction in terms of what we restore and when. All right, and when we embarked on the school repair program, we had 8 packages for various blocks, including plumbing, electrical works, replacement of AC units, general upgrades, and restoration. The auditorium proved to be a bit difficult and challenging for us. As you would appreciate, you know, the auditorium is very adjacent to the seaside, right? So the coast is south of the island, right there on the Atlantic Ocean side. And upon taking up some of the galvanized to replace, we realized that the I-beam and the purlins were completely corroded. And so it took a lot of technical capacity to figure out how to have this thing rectified while you maintain the overall integrity of the facility. And that took a while. It took a while from developing the scope to ensuring that we got the right engineers and technocrats on spot to have that project restored. And just last night, I was sharing a progress report through visuals of, you know, the journey towards the restoration of that facility. And Candice, trust me, it has been a long journey with that hall. We call it the Scarborough Sec Hall, with the hall. But the plan is to not have to run back in about 2 or 3 years. And so we had to treat the purlins. We had to ensure that we don't have that rust there. And although the eventual plan is to relocate the school, we know that that wouldn't happen in about 3 years or so, right? It's going to be more than that, and while staff and students are there, they must be in a place that's both safe and comfortable. And so the plan is to ensure that while they're there, we put safety at the fore. You would also appreciate that in an effort to end the rotation that was happening as a result of the auditorium being very adjacent to that third form block, we would have decanted sixth formers up to the UE sixth form facility, and had the third form in the initial stage utilize that sixth form block. And I think eventually the principal opted to put either the fourth or fifth in that space. But the point is we have first to fifth at that Shaw Park compound, and we have the sixth form up at ES. When the auditorium is finished, the school would be in a position where the entire campus can be in the same place, all right? I would not advise that that happens though, because you know the sixth formers are moving into exam, and to try to relocate them at this stage may be a challenge. So, you know, if I had to give some recommendations, I would suggest that we have the sixth form remain there. As a matter of fact, we're going to see if we can engage in some talks to see if, you know, we can have that facility, because I mean, fingers crossed, you don't ever want to be in a position where, you know, something happens and we don't have a facility to decant staff or students. And so that is the progress report as seen there in that little TikTok I made last night. But I also was certain to also address the other areas we were able to renovate and to have some restoration works, because a lot of persons probably were not aware at the extent of the work to be covered on that compound there. And so we did a lot, probably in the vicinity of about $4 million in repair. And you know, the debate is always there. You're spending this money on a plant that you think should not, you know, gain all that attention.
It's going to be abandoned pretty soon. So,
but while they're there, Candice, there is no one facility on this entire island that can accommodate
Certainly
800
not,
plus students, and that has always been our challenge. And so about 2 weeks or so ago, a week and a half or so, Chief Secretary, myself, a team from the Division of Education, Research and Technology, a team from the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development, we would have done a site visit. We did that site visit in the Bacalet area, not on the side, not the Bacalet Garden side, the Bacalet Park side. That's where the health center is located, about 29 acres of property that was formerly supposed to be the site for the administrative complex.
Yes.
All right, and that property is there. We did a thorough investigation, just trying to see if it's going to be feasible enough, adequate enough space for the type of facility we want Scarborough Secondary School to be. And it was a successful site visit, and plans are on the way. There is a design team, technocrats across the THA and the private practitioners as well. And they have to sit. They literally have no time to spare to come up with that design for the school, to ensure that we have the stakeholders consultation very active, because of course you want the actual users of the facility to be, you know,
be part of the process as well.
Yes, and for them, for the buy-in, you want them to know that this is their facility and they had a say in that construction phase.
All right, and you mentioned that, I mean, of course, you went through all the tests, because I know that the problem with the previous spot was that there were some concerns about possible flooding and things that may happen if a
when
facility...
the Caribbean Development Bank, who we were engaging initially, did that site visit there, and they did the topography tests and so on, you know, of course, all the geotechnical surveys and so on, there was a concern raised, all right? I am not a geotechnologist, I am not, you know, but from what I saw there, I could see why the concerns were raised. And, you know, we just can't be going around in circles if we can't settle on the site, you know, and then of course construction.
And that would set it back.
Yes, yes, right? So full speed ahead. Once we have a final sign off on that compound, on that property, then we are going to begin the construction phase. And I hope, you know, that in the not too distant future, we can be turning the sod there and really starting that construction for a long, long awaited school.
Approximately about 5 years?
We have an estimate of no less than 3. I mean, the size of the facility and the fact that we want it to be a smart school with all the technological, you know, adages and so on, you would appreciate that that school is going to take some time. But what we want to do, though, is focus on the teaching and specialist rooms. And then, because if we do it in phases, because you want a facility that if something is to happen, we can, you know, facilitate these students. And you don't want to ever be in a position where you're trying to build out everything that you have, you know, and there is no actual plan for teaching and learning to occur. So we're going to prioritize this phase, probably do a build out in phases to ensure that a facility is forthcoming to the staff and students of Scarborough Secondary School.
All right.
The last place of my employment before becoming a politician.
Certainly looking forward to it. Now, I mean, as you touched, I mean, on the home maintenance part of it, are we in a better place to treat with regular school maintenance? Because we know that there were some issues in 2022, but we're now in 2023. How is it looking?
Well, of course, for me as secretary, it was a learning process. All right, and what I realize is time management is everything. Time management and ensuring that the HR capacity is there. So for instance, one of the challenges of the division, which I found very shocking, is that we did not have a quantity surveyor on site. We didn't have one in the division. And so we had to utilize either QS from the division of ComDev or one from the division of infrastructure. And of course, they have their own projects to, you know, accomplish. And that was one of the major challenges. Again, bureaucracy. The fact that it's not just about pointing out a contract and saying you go on spot. There is a process, the procurement process. And then even outside of that, you have the authority of either the administrator below a particular spend or the chief administrator above that particular spend. And then you had changing scopes. You had the QS going in, let's say in May, and you're identifying only one purling to be replaced. And by the time June, and you're actually up there, you realize it's not one, it's two. And so scopes change. And you want to limit on the variations. I mean, you know, variations is additional cost.
Certainly.
So all of that would have had some challenges. But I think, just as my other colleagues, we've said that first year was a learning process. And I think I'm better informed as secretary. And I think the team, because you don't want to take licks over and over again, you sit, you take check of it. You have the debriefings, you see what went wrong, what was right. You don't reinvent the wheel with whatever worked. You try to, you know, ensure that you take those checks and balances along the way to ensure that you stick with your time limits.
Yes.
You know, and then of course you have some room, a grace period for if you have any challenges or untoward expectations.
So what are we going to see different this year in terms of the maintenance structure?
Well, so one of the things we've been advocating for a very long time for is the artisan team. And that artisan team is going to be comprised of maintenance personnel resident in the division. So for instance, instead of waiting on the July-August school repair program to now run out there with all the extensive work, you have that frequent and constant maintenance on the plants, right? And these will be facilitated through the project implementation unit there at the division. And so we have a cadre of plumbers, AC techs, electricians, masons, and so on coming on to be able to facilitate the smaller projects and ensure that there is that maintenance, you know, proactive maintenance, for want of a better term. And I think that is going to help in the long run. Instead of piling on, having all these issues there piling on, you're having disruptions to school. And, you know, of course, we're very mindful of the learning loss we already experience. And any disturbance right now is costly to the division. And therefore, the plan is to ensure that these properties are maintained. Most of our plants are aged. I could think about how many schools were built in my lifetime, which means so many existed before. And you know how the topography of this island is, the geography of this island is, we're on the coast. And so the sea blast, weathering, earth movements, and so on, is going to cause that frequent need for us to be maintaining our properties. And therefore, we just have to constantly be on the ball with our maintenance and ensure that we manage these plants well.
Okay. And now moving on, now we're into the second term, and second term is usually when you start to focus on getting ready for exams and that
at all
sort of
levels,
thing.
SCA, CSEC, CAPE.
Yes. So where are we? Are we better off this year than last year? Because last year what we saw, and I mean, and this is a national thing, we saw the performance of all of our students across the board. It decreased.
Yes, there was a decline. There was definitely a decline, and we know why. I have my team looking at the data pre, during, and now post-COVID. You don't expect a major jump, you know, between last year and this year. But the strategic direction takes us in a place where we account for what has happened in 2020, 21, and 22 at all levels. We have also been looking at the students who struggled through the primary school system, and of course, because of our matriculation process through the SCA examination onto secondary school, you know that on the under 30 performers, some of them end up in the secondary school system. And so the division has a strategic direction in terms of the project impact, which was definitely not a one-off July, August program. It's a program meant to facilitate that learning advancement.
So it is an ongoing thing.
Yes. And we are taking it into the communities as well. Because we recognize the challenge of students, most of them in homes where parents, they're giving them that support, but they themselves just are not aware of what they need to have organized in that home to be able to support their children academically. And so we're taking it to the communities to ensure that we give parents that academic and skills training support through our community centers. So stay tuned, you're gonna get an announcement. It's gonna come through a collaboration between the Division of Education, Research and Technology and the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. Yeah, so we're taking that education dual track into the communities as well.
Now, a major part of the division is that focus on research. It's part of the title and so on.
Yes.
How much of research has gone into, or how much effort has gone into building out our research so that we can make decisions that will help,
data-driven.
Right, that will help improve our students so that we can see better results.
Right. I think that has been one of the shortcomings of us as a people, the fact that we're not data-driven. You know, we look at trends, we look at what's in front of us, and we make rash decisions, ad hoc, if I might dare say so myself, and not data-driven policies to create the change we want to see. And so when the division was renamed Research and Technology, we realized that it was integral for us to really encompass the tenets of research into everything we do. I mean, how do you know that we're progressing? How do you know that we've not moved, or we've moved from hovering between 7th and 8th as an education zone? We need the research to guide the policies, right? And so the build out has happened. It is going to make a major shift to our organizational structure as a division. As you would appreciate, the division was previously called Innovation and Energy, you know, so we're building out two areas that had not, well, technology has always been there with education, right? And when we had innovation, you know, it's an easy shift. But research, it's going to take some time, and we're going to request PRDI to assist us in that build out, because trust me, you cannot engage in education without research. You must be data guided, and that laser focus must be on what you've been experiencing as an education zone and where you need to be, and it's only the data that can take us there. So yes, the build out is ongoing right now. Very soon we're going to have an island-wide consultation when we roll out our strategic direction, which we're working on assiduously as a division. And of course we're going to have Tobagonians come on board with the vision and mission of the Division of Education, and to also play their part, because you want to engage the public, you want the learned among us, you want the persons who appreciate what it means to be Tobago-centric in education to be a part of that team, and you just don't want to sit in the division and be very, you know, prescriptive in how you take education forward. A lot of persons have been coming forward volunteering, and they're saying, listen, I just want to give back, and I understand that this is one of the divisions that we need to pay special attention to. It's, you know, one of the pillars of our society. And I'm making that call. I'm making that call for academics, for persons in skills training, TVET practitioners, you know, to come on board and help us build out what we want to see education moving forward in that direction, that specific direction in Tobago.
Now, one of the issues that have been pointed out was that, I mean, even though there's that focus of technology in the division, there hasn't been any real incorporation of technology within our schools. Even with the COVID-19 pandemic and so on, we just, I mean, the teachers just had to jump into online learning, but yet there was no structure formed around it.
No, there wasn't. Obviously, you know, unfortunately for us, I don't think we spent enough time keeping abreast with what was happening in the world. And so when COVID came, it literally caught us with our pants down. We were scrambling around, trying to first ensure that the resources were supplied and there was equity in terms of distribution of devices and just ensuring there was connectivity. So that was a challenge. And then because there was no clear policy, the CPO, tutor, ministry, the THA, we just never had any document that would guide how we utilize technology in our schools. And so, of course, you're not going to wait for another pandemic. What we've been doing over the last couple of months is building out a policy that is going to guide how we deal with any disruption to the schools, to the school day. So for instance, when we had that adverse weather last term, and every now and again you would see some correspondence coming out of the division, you know, because of whatever alert, we don't have school. Persons were calling, why you just don't go back, you know, online? Why don't you just mandate for schools to go back online? But that's not how it works. You have to sit, of course, the union has to sit with the CPO, and we have these conversations to guide how the policies roll out. Because, as you would appreciate, Candice, you can mandate a teacher if there is no clear policy that he or she needs to sit in front of a computer, which probably you didn't even provide, and ensure that there is connectivity for that teacher to jump online. And you would also appreciate that not every student, even to this day, has access to the technology. Even if they have the device, you know, the connectivity has been challenging for a bit. So we've been spending this time building out a robust policy that is going to take us to a place where the electricity goes, a student can't come to school because, you know, the COVID numbers are increasing again. And so we have to take that into mind. Where a road is blocked off or so, we can just switch to that modality easily, and the policy is there to guide it. And so a committee has been set up in the division, and we have the tutor Tobago officer also being a part of that committee, and we're going to sit and we're going to work on it. And we're not waiting on national policy. We have to, because of course, the Secretary of Education and the Tobago House of Assembly has full responsibility for education. And so, yes, you're going to be guided by that national policy, but you don't have to wait on that policy to be built out before you take it there. So that is one of our goals.
Give me an idea of what that policy would look like in actual sense. You know, like what are some of the things that you're hoping that, I mean, how are you hoping that it would guide that whole system?
Right. So first of all, we have to have technology education. We have to ensure that every teacher is on board. We just pushed the thing to them and said, listen, jump on. But we have to take in consideration that there's some persons who may not have been as exposed to the technology as we needed them to be. So the teacher training is important, and we've begun that. Last term, coming down to the end of last term, we were able to distribute smart screens to the secondary schools. I mean, it's only one in the first instance, and these 9 smart screens costed us almost $500,000. So you would understand, you know, what that spend looks like. And very soon, I am going to be making the call to corporate Tobago to jump on board to ensure that all our primary schools and even our early childhood centers, you know, have the technology present on their plans. But outside of the teacher training, then we have to understand that technology education has to become part and parcel of the curriculum. Even if you don't choose this as an area for CSEC, every student must be exposed to the content that is going to have them better able to use the technology. And of course, outside of the training, then you have to ensure that every facility has the actual capacity to be able to utilize the technology. So we've gone on major drives to upgrade the networks throughout our primary and the secondary schools. We expended quite a bit on that. Technology is not cheap, Candice.
No,
and so that has been one of the investments we've made. Of course, connectivity, in spite of our attempts, connectivity is a challenge. So we have to keep working with our service providers to ensure that, you know, we have that spread and even distribution of connectivity across the island. And then we have to build out exactly what we want from the technology. How do we want to engage our students? How do we want the curriculum to be built from it? And it shouldn't be that you're doing particular things, not using it, and then jumping back. It must be holistic. It must be an approach that's all encompassing. And therefore, It is not going to be an overnight thing, but we have to start now. Because again, it doesn't take a pandemic, anything. I should be able to, as a parent, know that my child is ill, but he or she can log on and be a part of a class that's happening on the compound from the safety and security of the home. And so that is my vision, that the technology and the name isn't just a pretty adage. You know, the technology is really and truly a part of how we operate. And technology is not only going to be a part of the Division of Education. The technology, as mandated by the Chief Secretary, is going to be technology for the entire island. So we have a build-out where we are responsible for the digitization, and digital transformation of Tobago. So it's going to be Herculean, but we're up for the challenge.
Are there any timelines in place for when we can have that policy developed?
The policy is actually in development. What I want us to do is to do the consultations, Candice. Okay. I really, really want us to move in the direction of always having that buy-in from the populace. I think when you go to them after that build out and you're ready to roll out, you have persons feeling not involved. And then you get so much ideas, so many ideas, and so much engagement and even criticisms after the fact when we can go through it together. And then you'll be surprised at how many persons are able to actually come on board, persons you're probably not even aware of, who have the expertise and have that requisite knowledge and want to be able to give back. And this build out is not going to be an easy one. As a matter of fact, I want to actually sit with the Minister of Digital Transformation in Trinidad, the Honorable Senator Bacchus, and see what he has been able to do. We had some previous conversations before, but I want us to partner and to really, because of our size and so on, it's very easy to utilize Tobago, you know, in any pilot project. Yes. Any pilot project. And so very soon, probably in February, I'll be having a meeting with him. Then Trinidad, and we're going to sit, we're going to look at what we want, and we're going to look at what's there, and we're going to build it out together. So exciting times ahead.
Now, there's always this talk about, when we talk about developing Tobago, we talk about diversification, how we can diversify the economy and that sort of thing. But in truth and in fact, some of that starts with diversifying the education that we give to our students. And, you know, we've had like even people like Mr. Alvin Douglas on the set talking about, you know, we're surrounded by water, but we're not exposing our students to even like, you know, those environmental studies in a real way, tourism studies in a real way, and not just the clubs, but like really getting them into it. And, you know, not just to manage a hotel, but to get into all the intricacies of what makes the tourism industry thrive.
I agree. And that is why this concept of Tobago-centric education, Tobago-centric curriculum is not an easy feat. It's because we understand that you want a global citizen who understands where they're coming from, that sense of identity, but to boldly go out there and to make a mark on the world. And when we sit down and we look at it, you're right. We're an island. We have so many elements that are unique to us, and we have to be able to tap into those. And so education shouldn't just be about a math and English and you come out with a CXC certificate, but how are you prepared for life? And so when I look at it, I look at the financial literacy. I look at being able to leverage the ability of our minds to master the ocean, to be able to conserve and protect our ecosystems, to be able to understand how we maintain tradition, to keep our culture and the arts alive, to ensure that food security is not, you know, just a trend word, but something that we actually live. And so this is going to take partnerships of every single division. Every single division has to sit together with me and my team and build out this curriculum that is going to be integrated in a particular way that you're going to see a Tobagonian who understands who they are and understand the contribution they must make to society. And so you come into this role very excited, you know, to get the thing done. And then when you look at how much you have to put into it, again, I'm up for the challenge, but you want to be able to cut twice, measure twice and cut once, right? And so I don't want to just run into it. But again, we have to embark on the consultation, because because again, that's how you're going to know who you have in the space to be able to contribute positively to any type of groundbreaking measure that you're going to introduce. And so I look forward to that. I think that it is necessary for us to deal with every other element of education, inclusive education, TVET and skills training. They all are integral to what type of citizen you're trying to produce. And yes, education is that key. And I think that it's a bit sometimes overlooked as a division. You know, people focus more on the infrastructure. School needs a roof and the drain not fixed and we don't have the toilets flushing and so on. But education is so much more than that. And I want us to move beyond that stage of us just focusing. That should be happening, you know, smoothly. And happening in such a robust way that it becomes less of the focus and we start focusing more on the accelerated learner and having them do these global exams and not just limit them to what's happening here in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. And for us, finding ways of assisting with remediation and ensuring that there is really a push of that concept of no child left behind. And these mustn't just be, you know, words that we dangle around because they sound good, but we live these practices and ensure that we move beyond 7th and 8th as an education zone, and that is really, really where I want to see us go.
All right, Ms. Hackett. Now, we are unfortunately out of time this morning, but I want to thank you for being on with us. And we are certainly looking forward, and we are going to hold you accountable to those stakeholders and those promises of those policies.
Yes, ma'am.
Because from the teachers themselves, I know that they've been calling for those policies. Tutor has been very vocal about it, and we want to see that happen. We want to see our education push forward.
I do.
All right, great.
All right. So, teachers, good morning. Have a beautiful day. Students, this is week 3. You should be on the ball, heading towards that midterm area with the curriculum. And of course, we want to wish in advance our CSEC and our CAPE students, as well as SEA students, who will be doing their exam on the 29th, I think, the 29th of March. So we're on that path towards success.
All right.
Best of luck all.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Well, viewers, that's how we're going to have to wrap our show this morning. We just had the Secretary of Education, Research and Technology on, Ms. Orisha Hackett. And, well, viewers, we have a lot more coming up for you this week. So you want to stay tuned. Tomorrow, it's Chanel Phoenix in the hot seat, and she'll take you forward. All right, have a wonderful, safe, and productive day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.
Rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.